Good morning friends, welcome to DBMS class. In this class, let us discuss about view of data. Okay. So in the previous class, we discussed what is data and what is database and how the data is stored in the database. And after that, we also discussed different types of users of database, advantages and disadvantages of database DBMS. Okay. So today, let us discuss about view of data. So before discussing about the detailed explanation of view of data, so let us define what is the view of data. Okay. So in this case, as we know, there is a consider one database is there. Okay. And in that database, it contains so many interrelated set of programs or interrelated relations like tables. Okay. And those database may also contains the collection of interrelated data and set of programs. So using those programs, a user can access the data stored in the database and they can also modify the data stored in the database. Okay. So here the major purpose of database system is it must provide a users with an abstract view of the data. So what it means? So here the major purpose of database system is it must provide the abstract view of data to the users. Then, what do you mean by abstract? So here abstract refers or abstract means so overall the system hides the certain details how the data stored and maintained in the database. So how it is going to stored in the database and how it is going to manipulated and how it is going to processed and how it is going to maintained in the database. So everything is hid by the users. Okay, system is going to hide all the certain details by the users. User is going to only have the access to view the required data which is stored in the database. He is not going to know how the data is stored and what the structure is design or how the what is the structure of database, that is all hidden by the users. So then let us see what you mean by abstraction. Okay, before discussing about the various views of data, so let us see the meaning of abstract view. Okay, so in this case, let us see one diagram here. So see here, this is a one database. Okay, here these are the database 1, database 2 and database 3. This is entire database and these are related. See, this is a simple image of to depict the abstract view. He is the end user and this is the database. And in this database, it contains the three related data like a interrelated data like a D1, D2 and D3. Okay. And the different types of structures are used to store the data. Here hierarchical structure is used to store the data D1 and network structure is used for to store the data D2 and table structures are rows and column structures are used by the used to store the data D3. So, but when a user want to access the data stored in the database, the system is going to hide the entire details like how the data is stored or what the structure of the data is data structure is used for storing this data. So this is called as a abstract view. That means he is only going to view this data, but he is not have the authority to see in which data structure is used to store this data. That is called as a abstract view. Okay, so got the point what do you mean by abstract view? So because the abstract is very necessary because so it the designers may use a complex data structure to represent the data in the database. Okay, so since many database system users are not computer trained, so they are not going to compare all the users are not computer trained. That's why the developers hides the complexity from the users. Okay, through the several levels of abstractions. So there are so many abstraction levels are there. Okay, so by using that abstraction, programmer is or a developer is going to hide the complexity from the users. Okay, so those abstraction levels are like a logical level, physical level and a view level. There are actually three levels of abstractions are there in a database. Those are a views of data. Those are logical level, physical level and view level. So that one is also called as a three schema architecture of the database. This one is again an important concept for your examination. Explain three schema architecture or a three levels of data abstraction. Okay. So let us see the one by one. That is, see, as we know, data stored in the database and are stored with a complex data structure. But when a user come and want to access any data, he will not access the data if he has go through this complex structure. So simplify the interaction of users with a database. DBMS hides some information which is not used for a or which used for the user interest. So this is called as a data abstraction. So that's why developer hides the complexity from the users and stores a abstract view of data. So this is the abstract view of data. And there are three levels of abstract views of data are there. Those are internal level, logical level abstraction and view level abstraction. Okay, see here. So this is a description about the views of data and data abstraction. So when we are discussing with the data abstraction, there is a one more important concept is there, that is data independence. So hiding the complex data from the data from the users by the developer, they must also provide the data independence. So data independence means changing the data at some schema level or at one level that must not affect or that must not modify the data which is stored at the other level, that is called as a data independence. Okay, here you can see the one more new level, that is schema. Okay, so schema means the data structure of the database is called as schema. So here this schema is also called as a skeleton structures that represents the logical view of the entire database. Means logically how the data is going to be stored in the database, that is called as a schema. Okay, so I will discuss about schema structure of the database in the next class. But schema means the data structure of the database is called as a schema. Okay, or this is just like a skeleton that represents the logical view of the entire database is called as a schema. Okay, so in this case data independence means there are levels of schemas are there in the database. So data independence means when we want to change the data, when we want to change the data schema at one level, that must not affect or that must not modify the data at the another schema level, that is called as a data independence. Again there are two types of data independence are there. Those are physical data independence and next one is a logical data independence. In next class we will discuss about this concept, but now let us see the what are the various views of data in a abstraction level. Okay, so see first one. So data abstraction has a three levels as I told. First one is a internal level and next one is a logical or a conceptual level and last one is a view or external level. So this internal or physical level is also called internal level is also called as a physical level. Okay. So internal level is also called as a physical level, logical level also called as a conceptual level and last one is a view level or a external level. View level is also called as what? That is called as a external level. Okay. And let us see the some what you mean by physical level and what is meaning of logical level and view level. So see, so physical level. So in the physical level or the internal level, so this is the lowest levels of the data abstraction. Okay, so this is the last level. So let us see the first. So let us say this diagram. This represents the different levels of abstraction. So this is called as a physical level or internal level and this is called as a logical level or a conceptual level and this one is called as a view level. Okay, so let us see what is the meaning of this physical level. So in this case, this is the lowest level of the data abstraction. So this level describes how the data is actually stored in the database. Okay, ಈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗೈತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. And this level is basically describe the data structure and access path like a indexing. So access path means, so this is a access location where the data is stored, that location must be known. So that the access path is specified in the physical level for accessing the file or the database. This is called as the physical level. Okay, and next one is a logical level. So in the logical level, this is the next level after the physical level or this is a middle level. This is also called as a middle level or a conceptual level. Okay, this logical level is also referred as what? This is also referred as a conceptual level. So this level describes what data are stored in the database and what are the relationship existing among those data. So ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾನ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ನಡುವೆ ಏನು ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಐತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಏನು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, that is defined by the conceptual level. Okay, and next one is the view level. This is a level in which the user only interact with a database. So view 1, view 2, view 3 or so on up to view 1. So n number of users are there, then n number of views are created for a users. Okay, so view 1 is created for user 1, view 2 is created for user 2 and view 3 is created for user 3 and so on up to if n number of users are there, then n number of views are created to access the data stored in the database. Okay, so in this level the user only interact with the database and complexity remains hidden from the end users. Okay, and users see a data are there maybe, so the users see the data in the form of a like chart, graph or tables. So that is only viewed by the users. So let us take one example. So if we have a suppose we have a customer information. Okay, so let us consider we have some customer information, so that physical level. So let us take one example. So if we have some customer information, so at the physical level this record or a customer information can be described as a block of storage. A customer information ಏನು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ block of storage ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ define ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ or describe ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. And at the logical level the records can be described as fields and attributes along with their data type, because this specify the data structure used by the database to store the data in the database. So this conceptual or a logical level describes the data structure or what a data type is used for the data, so that can be seen in this logical level, like along with their data type and relationship existing between the data. And at the last user view level, the user just interact with the system with the help of a GUI, that is graphical user interface, and enter the details at the screen, but user is not aware of what and how the data is stored in the database. So this is about views of different various views of data. See, this is a one database. Okay, so in the database or a physical or internal view, this stores the entire block of a customer's data, or customer data is stored as a entire block of a data. And next level, conceptual view or a logical view, here it specifies the how the data is stored or what it specifies records like fields. These are the fields. Okay, or attributes. These are like just attributes, account number, account holder, this is account holder information, just like a account number is a account number, account holder name, and after that the amount or a balance, which balance of the account holder. So these are described by a logical level as a fields or attributes, and including that it is also describes their data types. Here account number data type is numeric or a number, and the account holder name is of type character, and amount is again a type of numeric. So this all representation or a characteristics can be viewed in a logical level or a conceptual level. And at the end of the abstraction level, that is view level, so user can see their account name and amount. Okay, or a manager can also view his account number, account name, and which type of account it is. Okay, so all these informations are viewed by the manager. There are two types of views are there. Account holder can want to view the account name and amount, balance amount. Okay, but manager want to access the account number, account name, and type of account. So this view is presented to a manager. So different views are going to be presented to our different users, because in which presented to the user on the basis of their interest. Okay, so that is called as a view of data. So this is a various views of data. So if you have any doubts, you can ask.